Okay, so the other day, someone in my life, I'm not gonna say who because it's private information, but they sent me this reel on Instagram, and it was of their IVF doctor. Right, they're going through IVF right now, and not a client, it's just like a family friend. And so she was like, "This is our doctor. Like, we love her, whatever." She had like really cool vibes. She was great, whatever. I love that she loves them, and that's amazing. But in the video, because I don't like follow other people's fertility stuff, like I'm just like so in my own world, in my own lane. I don't like look at any of that stuff. But as I'm watching the video, because she sent it to me, so I'm watching it. At the end, this is someone who like helps women with PCOS, right? And she was, and this is no shade to this woman or anything. Like again, she's great. She's helping her a lot. Like it's amazing. Um, but in the video, she was talking about how with PCOS, she's like, really important to like cut carbs and get rid of sugar and all this stuff. Some of the stuff she was saying was great, but then she said that at the end. And I was like, ooh, pause. Hold on. Thanks for the inspo. Thanks for saying this to me and giving me inspiration because I've got a lot to say. Okay, I've got a lot to say about that. So, as someone who has PCOS, I was actually misdiagnosed without it for a really long time. I had no idea I had it because they told me I didn't because I didn't have enough cysts on my ovaries and my testosterone wasn't high enough, which is ridiculous. But I do have it, which is why I had an irregular period for 10 years. I had no period for 2 years, all the things, right? Now I've regulated out for the last 8 years, got pregnant on the first try because of all the work I did, blah, blah, blah. If you've been here for a while, you know the story. And that's literally why I started my business back in 2018 and then left teaching in 2020 because I was like, well, it took me fucking years to figure this shit out. And it really shouldn't be this hard to figure it out. So I need to help other people. But here's the thing with cutting carbs and cutting sugar. That is not a PCOS fertility strategy. And here's why, for two reasons. Number one, it is not sustainable. And number two, it's not required. PCOS is a lifelong metabolic disorder. So if you are like saying, okay, in order for me to regulate my period and to get pregnant and to thrive with PCOS, I have to cut carbs and cut sugar. There is literally no way you're going to cut carbs and sugar for the rest of your life. That is not sustainable. And that it's not practical. That's not actually going to happen. And also, we need carbs. Carbs feed our brain, and carbs also help you ovulate. And ovulation is one of the things that's hard for people who have PCOS. It's one of the major issues. And you cutting out carbs is just going to add more flame to that fire. The issue, like the enemy isn't carbs, the enemy isn't sugar, the enemy is the type of carb you're having and the way that you're eating it. Same goes with sugar. You do not want to totally cut out carbs because again, not sustainable and you need carbs. You just don't want to be having just a plain bowl of white pasta with nothing else or a loaf of Italian bread and nothing else with it. You need to properly pair it with protein and healthy fats, and you want to have healthy carbs, right? Quinoa, legumes, brown rice, sweet potatoes, like fruits, the like squashes. Like you want to be having healthy carbs and pairing it properly. Even with the healthy carb, you still have to pair it properly, right? With your protein, with your healthy fats, that's really, really important. But totally cutting it is really going to detrimentally hurt your PCOS and your long-term success with PCOS. Because can that initially help insulin resistance? Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah, definitely maybe can, but it's not going to be something you can keep up with, which is why a lot of people don't stick with it. And then they end up going on medications because they're like, well, I mean, I cut carbs, I did all these things and it worked, but then, I had it again and then everything just went to shit. And it's like, well, yeah, because you didn't actually learn how to properly support your insulin resistance in a sustainable way, right? That's also why I don't recommend low glycemic. Like you don't need to do that in order to regulate your blood sugar and reverse insulin resistance. You do need to reverse insulin resistance with PCOS. That is required for you to have any changes in your fertility, in your ovulation, in your weight maintenance, in your acne, in your facial hair growth, and all of that with PCOS. That is the number one thing you have to do because that is a major root cause for every single person who has PCOS. You are going to have some insulin resistance and metabolic signaling because it is a metabolic disorder. That is what it is. And we do have a harder time processing sugar, which is why, yeah, the cutting sugar, it's like, well, right, I don't want you to be having Skittles and, just cane sugar and things. Like, no, of course we don't want to be having that. But I'm sure you're going to have a dessert again in your life. You're going to have some types of sugar, and you need to know the strategies to put in place to actually make sure that you are doing everything you can to support your blood sugar when those things happen. Instead of thinking like, oh, I just can never have the sugar. And then one day you have it, but you don't know how to properly have it so that you support your blood sugar as best as you can. For example, say you want to have a dessert right at a party. Ideally, I want you to have that after you have a blood sugar regulated meal, like closely after, not a few hours after, right? Like within a half an hour of you having a blood sugar regulated meal, you have whatever the sugar is that you want to have. And then ideally, you're doing some type of movement after to help uptick that sugar so that's not floating around in your body. So it's like, let's create a lifestyle around our PCOS because it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So creating a lifestyle around it of simple things you can do to help support yourself and support your blood sugar when you are going to be having sugar. And again, I'm not saying like you can eat sugar and white pasta all the time and still be great with PCOS. No, that's not the case. I don't think that's the case for anybody, not PCOS or not, but it's really understanding how to best properly eat the carbs, how to pair them together, and what to do before and after when you are going to have a dessert or whatever it is. So it's just so often doctors are telling women with PCOS, okay, just lose weight. Just lose weight. That's not, I'm talking aside from this woman's video, but like just in general, like, okay, you go to the doctor. We can't even help you with your fertility. One of my clients in the Accelerator actually experienced this. Fertility clinic won't help her until she loses weight. They're like, okay, just lose weight, but you're too overweight with PCOS. Like, we can't support you yet. I understand from a like clinical perspective why they're saying that, because they're like, well, the chances are really low of you actually getting pregnant at this BMI and all of that. Cool, totally understand that. But how about we stop making this a weight loss problem and understanding it's a metabolic problem? And instead of just telling someone to lose weight, because when we hear lose weight, our mind goes to, and also what they tell you, okay, cut calories, cut carbs, right? Eat less and work out more. The more that you do that, the more that you eat less, the more that you cut calories, the more that you work out more, the more you are dysregulating the system in your body that actually drives your PCOS fertility problems, which is your blood sugar dysregulation and your metabolic signaling, which is what's currently impacting and currently preventing you from regularly ovulating and having a healthy PCOS pregnancy. So this is why you likely have not seen success long-term when you have tried eating less and working out more. Not only have you not seen success with regularly ovulating and having a healthy pregnancy, but you also probably haven't seen success with maintaining a healthy weight. And that's why it's so frustrating, because you're like, I don't understand. I'm eating less and I'm working out more. Shouldn't, it's like, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Oh, I'm in a calorie deficit, but it's not working. Yeah, because your calorie deficit or you eating less and working out more is doing nothing to support the actual cause of your PCOS issues and the cause of you unable to maintain a healthy weight from your PCOS, which is, again, your metabolic signaling. And in order to do that, you have to reverse your insulin resistance and become insulin sensitive and regulate your blood sugar. Literally, I created Restore PCOS Fertility, which used to be called Balance Your Blood Sugar, for this exact reason, because it is something that if you not only want to regularly ovulate with PCOS, get pregnant, and have a healthy pregnancy naturally, right, without, medications, metformin, GLP-1s, all this stuff, you have to know how to regulate your blood sugar on a daily basis. It is ongoing, because your goal isn't to just get pregnant. Your goal is to have a healthy pregnancy. And yes, can GLP-1s or whatever help with that? Sure. But are you going to be taking the GLP-1 when you're pregnant? Probably not, right? Or breastfeeding. And if not, then you need the skills to actually know what to do, not only to help you get pregnant, but during pregnancy. Because when you do have PCOS, your risk of gestational diabetes is increased because of the insulin resistance. And if you just rely on a GLP-1 because that's what your doctor is telling you, or metformin or whatever, and you don't want to be on medications when you're pregnant, well, we have to have the skills in place to actually know how to then support ourselves when we are pregnant and when we are breastfeeding and all these, and beyond, right? And of course, there's always a time and place for medication. Like, I'm not telling you if you are on any medications to stop them. Always talk to your doctor, but the education is lacking with fertility clinics, with doctors. The education of how to actually do this in a sustainable way, with using what you're doing every single day, with what you're eating, how you're eating it, how we're supporting our metabolic signaling. This education is totally lacking, and this is why women are on this PCOS hamster wheel, chugging Vitex and popping 100 different herbs and spearmint tea and inositol and all these things. None of those things are bad in and of itself, right? It's not like Vitex is inherently bad. Inositol isn't inherently bad. Both of those things can definitely help you, but they're not going to do shit if your insulin resistance is not taken care of on a daily, hourly basis. So just relying on that, or just trying all these different hacks that we're always told about, is going to leave you spinning your wheels and feeling like you're fucking crazy. And I know this because I've been there, and because my clients have been there as well. So I'll put the link for Restore PCOS Fertility in the show notes. I cannot recommend it enough. Again, this used to be called Balance Your Blood Sugar. So if you've heard me talk about it, change the name to Restore PCOS Fertility, just because I really wanted to go back to my roots of supporting women with PCOS. This literally will help you whether you have PCOS or not. I mean, it's helped hundreds of women who don't have PCOS too, and those who do have PCOS. But I am so passionate about helping women with PCOS because I have it, and because it is rampant, and there just is not enough support around it. And it's just not about cutting carbs. It's not about eating low glycemic. It's not about totally cutting sugar. Like, it's just not. And so I'm like so passionate about getting this in the hands of as many people as possible. So put the link in the show notes for you. I'll also put a free training, that can help you. It's called How to Create Hormone and Blood Sugar Balanced Meals. That will at least give you that one piece of, like I talked about in this episode, protein, fiber, and healthy fat combination. If you don't already know how to do that, put that in there. Obviously, Restore PCOS Fertility goes into way greater detail with everything. There's, I don't even know exactly how many trainings, maybe 30 trainings. They're all short, like 15 to 20 minutes, but it's very in-depth, literally step-by-step, exactly what you need to do to support regular ovulation, fertility, and healthy PCOS pregnancy, without medications or weight loss shots, the teas, the lubes, all that shit, okay? But I really needed to hop on here because I know a lot of you are going and seeking help with your PCOS, and you're likely getting this advice, and you're like, okay, but I'm trying that and it's not working. You're not crazy. It's just not long-term sustainable advice. And it's coming from a good place. Like, I'm not saying doctors are trying to harm you. Like, they literally became a doctor to help you, but a lot of them do not have the nutrition. Not a lot of them, unless they do it on their own, but like in their normal training, there is no education on nutrition whatsoever. So of course they're going to recommend things that are just like, well, yeah, if you have to lose weight, then you just like cut calories and work out more. Or like, yeah, if you need to regulate your blood sugar, just like eat low glycemic. That's just not it. It's just really not from a nutrition, like scientific nutrition evidence-based place. It's just not. So I'll put the link for that in the show notes. All the things that we talked about. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You've likely just been trying things that are not getting down to the root cause of PCOS issues, or one of the root causes of PCOS issues, which is insulin resistance, that you can do. The good thing is this is all changeable, right? Like, you can change this, and it changes rather quickly, right? Not saying you're going to do this and get pregnant tomorrow, but the one thing about insulin resistance and blood sugar regulation is you will feel a difference in your mood, in your energy, in your mental clarity very quickly once you start regulating your blood sugar, which is amazing because, yeah, you're going to feel better. So like, yes, obviously we want that, but also because it lets you know that you're moving in the right direction. It lets you know like, oh, this is actually working. Awesome. I'm going to keep going, right? Because yes, obviously your main goal is to get pregnant, but you want so many other things on top of that. You want to have more energy. You want to have more mental clarity. You don't want to feel like you need to slam another coffee at 3 p.m. because you're having a 3 p.m. crash. You want to maintain a healthy weight with these. You want to have regular poops. You want to have clear skin. Like you don't want to be tweezing your chin hairs 24/7. Like, it's like you want all these things on top of the pregnancy, and the regulating your blood sugar is going to help you with all of that. I'm so passionate about this, as you can hear, because I just know the impact it's going to have on you. So anyway, all that will be in the show notes for you. And if you have any questions, obviously let me know. But the free training will be there for you. Restore PCOS fertility. I love you so much. You've got this. You can regularly ovulate and have a healthy pregnancy with PCOS. It is possible, and it's all doable. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this was hopeful for you, and I can't wait to see you in Restore PCOS fertility, because I know it's going to make a huge difference for you. But I love you. Share this with anybody who has PCOS that can help them. Let's spread this info far and wide so we can just empower women to really educate themselves, to do things in a sustainable, long-term way, not just thinking about instant gratification, but how can I support myself long-term? Because that's really what this is about. So anyway, okay, I love you, and I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for being here. If you loved this episode and learned something valuable, please share it with a friend who you think would also love it, or post it on social media and tag me so I could personally say thank you for helping me spread this important message. I am beyond grateful to be here with you. So until next time, stay intentional, stay consistent, and always mind your hormones.